Stephen Dawaniko, and welcome to the MTV's coverage of the 2012 National Game Fishing Titles. We're here in Rabaul, the waters of East New Britain, rich and brimming with some spectacular pelagic species of fish. Let's get straight into the action. We've hit the water aboard one of the great vessels of this tournament. It's called Tribal, and Bob, one of the anglers, they said the fishing out here is legendary. Is that true?
That's right. We always get the most number of marlin, and you don't have to go very far to get the marlin. It's just in the channel, St George's Channel.
I've heard that the weather conditions this time of the year can be quite fickle. What are we expecting?
Well, normally they're not, but this time for some reason they are. A lot of wind and rain and bad conditions, so we're hoping that it'll eventually clear up.
I've seen a huge number of boats this year. The participation is still great. There's something special about Rabaul that just keeps them coming back.
Well, the people in Rabaul have a good spirit because we have a lovely harbour, beautiful harbour, and there's a lot of good spirit, even though our volcano set us back, but we've bounced back, and I've been a big supporter since 2000 when we started hosting the titles here again.
Okay, well, it's been 4 years, and now the Rabaul Game Fishing Club in the background, they're the hosts this year. They've got in the vicinity of 200 anglers, 20 boats looking for great titles. Let's get stuck into the action. A big international cast of anglers, boat skippers and deckhands joined well over 220 anglers from around Papua New Guinea to pit their skills against some big-time game fish. First female angler of the day. Excuse me, madam, your full name?
Megan, Roven.
Megan, are you a serious fisher?
Oh, absolutely. Watch out.
What do you reckon you're going to be hauling today?
The biggest, whichever it is.
Naming right sponsor, Consort, going great lengths to ship in boats from as far away as Port Moresby and Lae to take part in the event.
Without the support of the naming sponsors, this is Consort, Global and Interoil, which are our three biggest sponsors. They've been there for the last 2 years and previous years before that, so we've got a number of levels of sponsorship, but basically we're seeing a huge increase in sponsorship from our previous tournament in 2008. So we're absolutely, gobsmacked and encouraged by that, and so we just owe it all to them. They're the reason that we're able to put on such a big event, and of course we see by the numbers of anglers that they're here, and they see that this is really a good event to come to because of the support. So, and of course, the engine room behind the scenes, a lot of hard workers that are not noticed, but their efforts certainly make a big difference towards this tournament. Yeah, we've got a small group of very dedicated committee members. We've been working almost around the clock for the last sort of 3 months. After Christmas last year, it was non-stop, and I haven't had anything but titles work to do. So, but we're really going to enjoy the fact that we're put on a big event, and for the most part, we're not incident-free, but basically we've come through all our troubles and difficulties in the process, and we're still here. So, it's been good so far.
But once on deck, what the officials didn't expect was near cyclonic weather in the opening days as a low-pressure system hung around in the region. Making the going tough and challenging was an understatement. Still, teams were up at the crack of dawn each morning, eager to charge into the natural elements and drop their lines. Such is the allure and reputation of fishing the national titles of Rabaul. The rich, deep waters of East New Britain offer some of the best game fishing all year round, and in 2012, local knowledge had a big influence on who would take the major honours for the 37th National Game Fishing Titles.
There's a number of boats with cans, skippers and deckies. Those guys are really professional. So we've got Satisfaction, we've got Tsunami. These are the big names that we see every tournament, so they're very well rehearsed. And of course the old favourite Desperado from Port Moresby. Everybody knows about him, our IGFA rep and PNG GFA president. So these are some of the bigger names. Some of the other boats that stayed back would have been here, but for personal reasons didn't come over. But those are some of they're the ones that have got the big name skippers and deckies. But then the local boats like Stephanie, John Lau's Stephanie, he's our local favourite and now our fishing hero, marlin hero. So he's a legend of all time. So now we've got some boats that are out of action now, which we're expecting to be into the mix, and then we've got some young guns that have come along that are showing the oldies how it works. Like M now from Lay, doing great guns every day and proving us all, you know, that the new guys can keep it up with the big names from the past. So.
It's a line belong place, or it's a good long. All secret places belong, all belong to them.
Are you willing to share any secrets?
Yeah, I think Lima 14 has been posted on Facebook. It's the breeding ground for the blue marlin. So Johnny Lau and Stephanie have always been very, very lucky. Have always been very positive with catching marlin from Lima 14. So that's a very good hunting ground for marlin.
Back out on the water, it was tough going as anglers battled 30-knot winds and 3-meter swells. One boat, the Adjuster, managed to hook up a healthy fish amongst the mix. Boatman Luke Sylvester capturing Ken Kirby going through his workout with teammate Ron Wessel. Skipper and owners Don and Kelly Muir steadied the boat as the team, affectionately called the Two Old Farts, landed their first blue marlin.
Shoulder, get it, beautiful! Yeah! Way to go! Right. Yeah. Get a glove. Get a glove. He's rolled over and died. Ken, get that line out of the way. Quick, give me a glove. Hey, you got a photo of Ken looking over the line.
Keep taking him. He's got a revolver on him. Keep shooting, Luke.
Unfortunately for Team Adjuster, it would be their first and last big game fish for the meet, as their efforts were compounded by mechanical problems that would cut short their titles haul.
Right, I'm going to cut it now and he's gone.
It's your 5-kilo lure!
After a successful tag and release, the team meandered adrift after a quick sprint home for a good 6 hours. Left floating in the deep blue, the Adjuster were eventually towed into safe harbour at 11 p.m. that same evening, 6 hours after the initial capture.
Awesome. Yes.
These pictures aboard the layboat Satisfaction, showing just how tough the opening days of fishing unfolded. Most mornings when the fishing teams head out to sea, they can be fooled by this glassy calm weather. If you look over the ranges behind me, this cloud cover just trickles down the hillside, and with it, it brings rain that stays all day, and the winds pick up between 20 and 25 knots. So conditions are going to be tough out here for anglers in the 2012 National Game Fishing Titles. After 2 tough opening days, Mother Nature was unrelenting and handed out a belting to those that ventured out into the St. George's Channel between Rabaul and the Duke of York Islands. Back on terra firma, teams aboard small craft were sent scouring for cover toward the Rabaul Yacht Club as conditions continued to worsen. The big guns stayed out wide and hoped for a big strike and a break in the weather. But there would be no respite as the big winds and rains also battered the Fijian Islands, and the tail of the cyclonic weather continued to hammer the northern New Guinea Islands. Tell us, have you been able to have a chance or get a word in with Mother Nature? She's playing hard to get.
Absolutely. We keep saying it's going to be over tomorrow. It's going to finish on the weekend, and we will prove wrong. And so fishing in a cyclone is what we feel like we're doing right now. So this is something new for us. But an early Easter is when you get this type of weather. So northwest, here we come, mate. We're braving the elements, and some of the boats are staying out longer than we expect. Today was a particularly difficult day with windy and rainy weather. A number of boats came in early, but some of the bigger boats were able to stay out, and they were rewarded with extra marlin, more than 2 or 3 bites each. So, yeah.
For those that have seen it all and done it all before, there were words of advice from the experienced skippers in town to those that were in with the shot. You've been a fishing legend in these waters for a long time. What's the secret of your success?
First of all, you've got to find the location where they might be, and when you find them, they really turn on. We've got about the best marlin fishing grounds in Papua New Guinea, right here in Rabaul.
This is the place to be for fishing. This is it.
This is it. Yes, this is it. We try to keep it a secret, but the secret is out.
I promise you, I won't tell anybody.
I'm going to about Lima 13, 14 and 15.
How many kilometers would that be?
It's about, for me, it's about 15 miles, kilometers.
Small things for you? You fished a lot of lay. You're from Mosby. Are you familiar with these waters?
I've done it before. I won it here before in 2000, and I'm back.
After 4 testing days of cyclonic conditions on the water, calm seas and 3-meter swells are allowing boats and crews further out into the St. George's Channel.
Never to be seen again.
Not far off, Michael and Aaron Fury aboard the lay speedster Manta, tagged and released an 86-kilo blue marlin caught on 24 kg line, keeping their aspirations afloat.
Who caught it? Good work, Willie!
Hey guys, we just come over to see what lures you're using. Actually, they don't have any batteries in the camera.
Also featuring amongst the good luck was Tim Malolo, who hit some good form with Christian Vincent tagging a 110-kilo sailfish. The angler's bonding with the fish once a hook was removed was all but brief, be it a result of weariness or just pure sensitivity. An hour later, Vincent's teammate Brett Carter also tagged and released a sailfish, estimated to be around the 90-kilogram mark as well. The sailie gobbled down the lure and was always going to be caught. In fact, the lure was so well taken that extraction meant delving in up to the elbows to retrieve the hook and set the fish free.
A gumboot. We caught a gumboot. Pretty tough to catch. They don't come around every day, but we caught one.
Welcome back to MTV's coverage of the 2012 National Game Fishing Titles in Rabaul, capital of East New Britain Province. Well, we're heading out to sea this morning with Captain Big Dan aboard the boat Tribal, and it's a midway point of the tournament. It's time for the big cash prizes, the big events, the draw cards. We're talking about the Coca-Cola Billfish Shootout and the Ella Motors Hens Hunter Yellowfin Comb. The annual Coca-Cola Billfish Shootout is one of the big underway with a traditional 7 a.m. shotgun start that is a sprint for the open seas and provided quite a spectacle. from Rabaul's Simpson Harbour. The adrenaline rush continued with small skipjack and yellowfin schools on the boil as soon as boats settled in to their morning trawls. Team Malolo set the pace for the day, tagging and releasing an 80-kilo blue marlin within the first hour of fishing. Rods remained idle on board the decks of Coca-Cola's flagship boat, The Office, despite all the nearby action. Youngster Chris Henderson, a kid with experience in these waters and a painty talent for the future, decided to take matters into his own hands, casting a popper into the thick of things to try and spark something for his own team. And while he didn't get a strike, the ploy worked and gave Lihir-based businessman Felix Holly his first points for the tournament with a juvenile yellowfin.
Going to like baiting.
Some consultation between young Henderson and skipper Vale Loy hatched a new tactic for the team aboard The Office: live baiting. For if there's tuna chasing the bait fish, there's going to be something bound to be chasing the tuna. What exactly that was, only time could tell, as that beautiful sound of a ratchet dropping brought the atmosphere to life and sprung Matt Green into action.
What do you reckon, Silas? Shark?
You need to have a Johnny Walker.
In a situation like this, what's your best advice?
Just think of something that's extremely beautiful. I don't know, maybe tiger shark.
What? Look at all these birds here.
Unfortunately for the team aboard The Office, this oceanic silver-tip shark had other plans, and despite 2 attempts to gaff and land it, 140 kilograms of raw power proved too much on the strain for the 24-kilo rig that Matt Green had. The shark lost at the boat. On the other side of the Duke of York Islands, Port Moresby-based Desperados, skippered by Bob O'Day, were fishing their second day of the tournament, and after 2 days' rest shoreside, the team were fresh and eager to get down to business. KBN's Ian Jackson is a regular face on Desperado and was in the box seat when something appeared from out of the blue. MTV cameraman Augustine Keeley making the call and snaring the strike. While skippers and anglers poured over their grid charts and monitored their depth sounders and fish finders, just after lunch there was a call over the two-way radio that one team had landed a fish that they believed had a real shot at the title. Team Tsunami, skippered by 4-time national titles winner Rob McCulloch, were homeward bound for the Rabaul Yacht Club's way station, confident that they had a catch good enough to bag the 2012 Coca-Cola Billfish Shootout title. Once Harbour Master Michael Chan had the impressive fish on the scales, there was an air of excitement as McCulloch, angler Keith Kingston and the Tsunami team awaited final confirmation.
154. Okay, now how about hugging the fish, please?
The skipper's call was a good one, and Tsunami were never challenged until lines in at the day's end at 6 p.m. Chalk up another trophy for the mantelpiece for McCulloch and company. But among the notable fish landed on this day was a superb yellowfin. This was hauled in by Angus King, taking 2 hours fishing 24-kilo tackle. The torpedo-like speedster took Angus and the team aboard Dragrunner 2 hours to battle before she was finally landed, a splendid 70-kilo yellowfin. The Alamota's Haines Hunter Yellowfin Comp saw 36 fish weighed in at the Rabaul Yacht Club, but none close to the major prize money for the day. The ask, a yellowfin 4 times heavier than the line class used by anglers in ultralight, light, medium and heavy tackle categories. The team aboard the boat Dragrunner from Ley appeared to have a shot at the prize money early in the day, but half an hour later, angler Helen Taylor had a 40-kilogram sailfish by the boat, the new points towards her quest heading on.
Here we come. Acting. Helen? Yep. Under the boat, under the boat. Good work, Helen. Awesome. Tough going. You little bastard. Southern little fella.
The decks had to be cleared aboard Tsunami, who appeared to be in with a shot when the ratchet dropped and a good-sized fish peeled off some line at a rate of knots. Angler Jerry Wanu shaped up for his first big fish of the tournament, and he wasn't let down. The tussle between man and fish lasted 45 minutes before the Tsunami crew and Wanu had the sailfish tagged, resuscitated and released to fight another day. Ley boats continued to exert themselves out on the water, with the team's satisfaction consistently racking up the good points. Satisfaction were again amongst the points when the angler reeled in this striking blue marlin. The footage caught on sunglass cam, showing the workout involved when an angler is hooked up to a good sports fish.
Got him. We got him. Woo!
Well done, buddy. You want to bring him up?
Nah, I don't think so, mate. He's tired enough. Anybody got a photo of it before we go? Woohoo! Hello, fish. Woo! Hello, fish. Go and go and pull. Yeah, turn them up. Yeah, yep. Beauty. Pretty tail. That's it.
The amazing color of the juvenile marlin, weighing in at around the 90-kilo mark, all the more reason why this species of fish is much sought after. Craig Shepherd aboard Niha took a gamble to fish out wide on the fishing grid and reaped the rewards, landing 8 fish ranging from dogtooth tuna to yellowfin, Spanish mackerel and dolphin fish. Game fishing on the global stage is becoming serious business, and with a greater demand these days to verify catches or fish that are tagged and released by anglers, has come an upsurge in technology. MTV's coverage of the 2012 National Game Fishing titles received good support from boats and teams that generously pulled footage to support this one-hour highlight special, featuring HD footage taken on the GoPro-mounted fisheye cameras provided by Captain Damien Collette of Solitaire Charters, but also working of satisfaction in Rabaul. Captain Damien also unveiled the latest in high-tech game fishing toys for boys, the Sunglass Cam. Fellow Cairns Bay skipper Daniel McCarthy and his decky Jason Legg also had a few tricks up their sleeves and revealed to us Tagpole Cam. Into the home run, and the 220-plus anglers really turned up the heat as crews monitored the point scores heading into the final weekend of fishing, and skippers plotted tactics to bring their teams home in a flurry.
Open the door.
fish overboard. What's with that?
It's on the back on the Velcro. Coming. You guys. It's running. No, now it's gone.
As far as the Game Fishing Association of Papua New Guinea's president, Bob O'Day, was concerned, 2012 registered a positive tick for the hosts, the New Britain Game Fishing Association.
It's been really good. Fishing's been very good, Steve, and the only thing that's let us down is all this damn rain.
Is it expected for this time of the year here in Rabaul?
No, it's pretty unusual. It's to do with those cyclones or the low pressures that are out in the South Pacific sort of drawing this cloud in, but we're all expecting to come across to sunny Rabaul here, and it's been fairly rainy, although it's clearing up slowly. I think the last day might be okay.
What is the story behind this broken rod?
Well, it's a short stroker, which is a rod that's just about that long, and it's legal by about that much, because there's a legal length for a minimum for a rod.
Okay.
Anyway, we got a good bite on the short corner on a Lumo cockroach, and David Doig was the angler, and he fought the fish, and it was a good fight. And about halfway through the fight,
let's have a look.
This is what's happened. So we've broken the tip off the rod, and unfortunately it's reduced the length. Let me see if I can get this off here. That's broken there, and the legal length from here to the tip of the rod needs to be 44 inches.
Right.
So this is now about 32 inches. So it's not legal anymore, unfortunately. So David's got a good story for tomorrow for the crying towel session, I think. But he was very disappointed. But the other thing is, we got the fish. He fought it with this thing dangling on the line, up and down, and did a very good job in about 20 or 30 minutes. And we got the fish in and tagged it and released it. So it swam away happy, and I got my lure back. But unfortunately, no points. So
the local game fishing club, they've really put their heart and soul into this to make it work, and you got to take your hats off to them.
Absolutely. I mean, they've done it with a really small crew of people, 2 or 3 blokes and a couple of the girls, and that's been it really. So they've run the whole tournament, put it together and run it themselves, and with a bit of input from other people and some mighty help from sponsors, of course. But they've done a wonderful job, and the club itself has been fine, and it's been a little bit underwater, but not just a little bit. But we did have a boat inside there for a while, just in case. But no, they've done a wonderful job. It's been fantastic.
For us, last day of angling, we just hope that many tight lines out on the water today.
Yeah, hopefully. There's a lot of boats out. Just to wrap up, I think that they've had, I can't recall the boat figure, but there's well over 250 anglers have been registered, which is fantastic for the club. And of course we all look forward to going up to Madang next year, so it'll be great.
Well, done must be done, Lee. First time in Rabaul, and hopefully next year, first time in Madang. Looking forward to that one, because their reputation is just as big as it is over here.
Absolutely. It's a small club, and again they'll be pedalling like mad with a small committee, but good fishing waters and a nice little clubhouse, and everybody loves going there.
Well, but it's always a pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.
You're most welcome.
Then, with lines officially in after 9 solid days of fishing in the waters of East New Britain, organisers still had one trump card to show before the announcement of the class winners, and it came in the form of distinguished special guest, Dr. Julian Pepperell.
By a game fisherman called Russell Hay, fishing from Samurai. He saw the tag and handed it in, and that was our very first recapture on the whole program. So there's a link between PNG and Australia, even from those very early days. The program has now been going, as I said, for nearly 40 years. Next year we'll see the 400,000 fish tagged on that program, 400,000 game fish, of which about 50,000 have been black marlin. That's fantastic, and about 7,000 fish have been recaptured and reported. It's the biggest program of its kind in the whole world. Some of the highlights have been fantastic. We now know that black marlin, for example, move big distances, whereas striped marlin and sailfish don't. Yellowfin tuna don't move very far. Striped tuna, skipjack tuna do. They move big distances. So those sorts of things we never knew before. In PNG, apart from that early recapture, we've had some very interesting recent recaptures. I want to emphasise the point that this tagging program, even though it's been going a long time, we still learn information every year, every couple of years. So some of you might recall several years ago, Libertine was fishing at Kimby and they caught a black marlin that had a tag in it, and the tag had been in that fish for 7 years and 6 months. It was a record length of time of a tag in a black marlin, or yes, in a black marlin. And the tagging program, and I hope it continues for many years. So thanks very much.
The only way I can accept this is thank you from the tall man, Kerry King, who put me together with Bob O'Day on Desperado. Great tournament, great time. Drink plenty of SP.
Well, that completes our coverage of the 2012 National Game Fishing Titles here in beautiful Rabaul. What a tremendous experience it's been. I heard the fishing was spectacular. It was legendary. I came and I saw it for myself. I'd like to thank everyone within the organising committee, all the anglers, skippers and boat owners. It's been such a pleasure. We'll see you next time in Penang. Until then, good night.
Number one, the adjuster.